Hello everyone, and welcome to Straight Chilling. Each week we watch and review a horror film for your entertainment. You can send all questions and comments to straightchillingpodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to keep chilling.
Yeah, we straight chillin', serial killing. 5 cold feelings on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star ratings from the floor to the ceiling. If you get your 1 star, no time for feelings. Got a team and DJ, all the 1s and 2s. By the name of someone, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over 2. And prepare to hear the legend of the Straight Chillin' crew.
What up, nerds, and welcome to a very hot episode of Straight Chilling. My name is Bob, and I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode number 208, recorded on Sunday, March 31st, 2019. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Randy's new favorite movie, the winner of the March poll pick, House of Wax. Not the Vincent Price House of Wax, the Paris Hilton House of Wax. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show tonight. First up, calling in from Santa Barbara, California, Randy Gandy G. Landy.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Randy. I'm stealing intros from now on.
It's your boy, Tom Cruise, Randy Staines.
It's your boy, Randy Staines. Coming at you from the SoCo. That's Southern California.
Cool.
Yeah.
Happy to have you.
That's all of that bit that I have.
Justin is currently in gay Paris with his wife, eating the fromage and the baguettes, drinking the vin and whatnot. We have on the show tonight the returning champion of Straight Chilling guests, the lovely Tammy. Welcome, Tammy.
Oh, what's up, y'all?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, Tam?
Hey. You know, I'm just fresh out the candy factory. Been slinging that sugar all day.
Slinging the shug. Slinging the shug.
Sounds like a cocaine operation. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Have we ever been on this podcast together? I don't think that we have. I think you've been filling in a lot for me
That's
not
a great
being
question. You weren't on the Endless.
Mm-mm.
That was when
know.
J-Boy was in town. I don't remember what Funny Games. No, we did Funny Games together.
Oh, we did funny games. Okay.
Yep.
I have a terrible memory, so thank you.
Back on Lydia Street.
All right.
That was a hot minute ago. Hot
It's
minute ago.
That's so hot.
Ooh, that golf club goodness.
That's hot.
Oh, no. I knew you'd have a fucking soundboard of this.
That is really hot.
Wait a minute, is there one?
Sorry, Randy, you can't hear it.
Oh,
What the
Randy. It's probably best that you can't hear
It probably is best.
It's
for
never
the
best.
That is really hot.
No.
It is really hot.
In the past 30 seconds, he's played it like 50 times.
Is it juice or is it Paris or is it a combo?
Oh, it's Paris.
Oh.
Isn't it sort of ironic that Justin is currently in Paris while we are talking about Paris?
What?
I mean,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I guess.
Let me
If
help
I
you
have
out.
to concede a point, I guess I will.
The answer is yes. Yes, it is.
Is he in Paris Hilton right now?
He's
Or
inside of
shit.
Paris Hilton.
One night of Paris Hilton.
it's like Magic
That's
School
right.
Bus Paris Hilton edition.
He's inside gay Paris Hilton right now. That's where he is.
He's turning her gay.
I mean, R.I.P.
That's how that
to
works,
the
right?
Landing. Everyone who lives in Jacksonville, but do you remember when Paris Hilton had a nightclub? In the
Yeah,
Landing?
That was like a 5-minute soiree, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's about the accurate amount of time. Yeah,
It was just
Went from
called
being-
Club Paris, right?
it was.
Club
yeah.
Paris.
And then she dropped out, and then they still kept that name, and then they got sued out of existence. That was a fun time.
And now we're
For
going to
all.
tear it down and build something better.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Club
Paris
Ri-
Hilton. I forgot all about that. I love that. That's fantastic. It's now a country bar. You can ride a mechanical bull in there if you want to do that.
I do want to do that. I've never ridden a mechanical bull. I have ridden a mechanical shark, though.
Oh, shit.
At Gummy
Such a-
Fest at Sweet Pete's.
That's awesome.
Fuck.
Buck. Buck.
Fuck.
Let's tackle a little bit of housekeeping real quick there, lady and gentleman. So the poll pick for April is going to be ending in like a couple hours. And last time I checked, American Psycho, that is definitely ahead. So I believe
Scottish Psycho is nowhere on this list, so
no,
don't even go.
Yes, Americano Psycho is going to be the winner there. So by the time you listen to this show, the May poll pick should be posted there, and the theme for May is going to be maniacal mothers.
A boy's best friend is his mother. That's what I was told.
Can I submit a home video?
Oh, shit.
Yes, you can.
Is it of you talking to your dogs a lot or something?
Well, I was going more for like that I have a maniacal mother, but
No,
maybe
I'm
it
twisting
didn't
that on.
translate.
So,
all right.
Oh, no.
All
Your
right.
you're
mom's
supposed to yes
pretty chill.
and me, Tammy.
I'm leaving.
It's a
Goodbye.
yes and.
Yes, and here's an alt. So the three movies you're going to have on the May poll pick there that you can vote on our Patreon page for is going to be Inside, Psycho, and Carrie. Are going to be the three
damn.
crazy mom pictures.
That's a pretty good slew of movies, actually. It's
Yeah.
a
It
pretty
is.
interesting batch, I think.
Heavy
If I
hitters.
do say so myself.
Heavy hitters, for sure. So if you support us on Patreon at the $5 level or above, you can vote on that shit. We're going to talk about one of those this coming May. For show. Justin's doing Twitch stuff. He's not here to talk about it, so I don't really know. I think he's going to be in Paris this whole week, so he probably won't be twitching at all until next week, if I had to guess.
What a bit.
Seems like we are too.
What a bitch. So this past Friday, we had our very first Joe Bob live watch party, which was pretty successful.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we started like a few minutes late just because the internet. The internet
Your
took a
boy
shit.
had problems
Yeah.
getting that shit set up. Yeah.
I wasn't even setting it up and I had problems. Like as soon as I went to log on, every piece of electronics equipment in my house just like shat the bed. Nothing worked for like 20 minutes. I was like, what? is happening?
Y2K finally happened.
Fucking Joe Bob broke my house.
It's the dick bibs.
The Dicky Bibs. But once we actually got it up and running, it was a lot of fun and it worked like
Yeah, Chud
pretty
and oh shit, I'm blanking. What is it?
Castle Freak.
Castle Freak. Yeah, which I had not seen Castle Freak. It was a pretty interesting fucking flick.
Yeah. Castle Freak.
Jeffrey Combs does not go small in that movie. The man goes big. He goes so fucking big.
He's a big man. He's huge.
It's good stuff.
He's a huge man.
We're not going to go into that category. Let's continue.
Yeah. So if you want to join us this Friday, we're going to be hosting a live Joe Bob watch party again. So we're going to post the link to join that on our Facebook page a few minutes before the show starts, which is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us, watch the double feature, have some chats, have some laughs, and bring some beer. You won't be disappointed.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Last bit of news, just a reminder, we've got a live show coming up on Saturday, April 13th here in Jacksonville, Florida at the Justice Pub with the lovely Short Box podcast. We're going to be talking about Creep Show, both in movie form and comic book form, and it's free. The show's going to start at 7 o'clock. Come hang out with us, and we'll be inviting some people to come and talk some Creep Show with us, and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a
It's going to
party.
be a big room full of creeps, that's for goddamn
Yeah.
sure.
We're getting creepy. We're going to get real fucking weird with it, and you're not going to want to miss it. So
I'm going to miss it.
be there. Damn it, Randy.
So sorry.
Yeah, that's it for the housekeeping. Let's go ahead and talk about what we've been watching this week.
Hey gang, what you been watching?
Randy, what you been watching?
Well, it's been like an hour since our last recording, so I haven't watched a whole lot since the last time we spoke, which is great because the last time it was like 7 or 8 fucking movies and shows. But so this time I just got done watching the movie Tully, the Charlize Theron movie. You guys familiar with this?
How was that? I am familiar.
What's that?
How was it? I am familiar.
It was pretty good. I thought it was I don't know. It went in sort of an unexpected direction. Becky was watching it with me. She was under the impression that there was that it was somehow in line with horror, which I wouldn't go that far, but there's definitely like a horror element in it. I don't really want to go into what it is because like it's more fun to just sort of like let it happen. But it's fucking great as far as the acting and the writing go. It's pretty fucking harrowing story about a woman with postpartum depression, but it's like a very real look at that.
Yeah.
And it's something that I know nothing at all about, and so I don't know. It was emotionally taxing. It caused a lot of anxiety for me.
God.
Damn.
So,
I love movies like that.
yeah, I know. So I recommend it.
That's
though,
wild
very
that you
much.
say it's kind of got like a horror feel to it because the trailer for it does not give any of that.
I wouldn't even say that it has the tone of a horror movie. There's just like a couple elements, and I'm like, oh, that's where she's getting. That's where that came from. You know, like
Okay.
there's some things in it that wouldn't be out of place in a horror movie and makes more sense within a horror context. But it's nothing, you know, it's nothing super crazy or anything like that. It just was interesting to me that it coming at it from that angle. But even if it's not, like just strictly as a story, it's a fucking good movie. And Charlize Theron acts her fucking asshole off. It's great.
She got no ass hole.
No hole.
It's gone.
It's gone.
That's it. That's enough, Bob.
Sorry. Thank you. Keep me in line. Appreciate it.
Nah, I love me some Charlize.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Duplass is in it. Your best
Ooh,
friend, the
that's
Korean.
my boy. Listen.
and Ron Livingston.
Ron Livingston?
Ron Livingston
He's pretty
is in
good.
it as well.
He's pretty
I
good.
love
What a
him,
great
but
cast.
he's in so many movies recently though, where he's like not the best guy, and it bums me out because I look at him, I'm like, I want to love you. I don't know, like you're such an everyman. I want to pull for this guy. You just seem like just slightly downtrodden all the time, but also really likable and charming. I want you to do good things, man, and then you fuck it up somehow.
He's always quitting his job.
Yeah, always quitting his job. He's always pulling a fucking Office Space on everybody.
Damn.
Damn, dog. You watch anything else, Randy?
No, I mean that was primarily it. Other than that, I went hiking and shit and did things outdoors, and it was dumb. No, I'm just kidding. It was great. No, I went to Channel Islands, did some kayaking. I'm sore as shit now. That's about it.
Nice.
Did you wear sunscreen?
I wore SPF 1000. It was so high, and I reapplied on the goddamn kayak because my shit is flash paper. I'm gonna go up in flames if I'm in sun for like more than 10 seconds. So yeah, I had the sunscreen for sure.
Smart. Smart, man. Cool.
I listen to Baz Luhrmann. I know what's up.
Always wear sunscreen.
Geek.
This is water. Tammy, what you been watching?
I have been watching a lot of things that are not on brand for this podcast.
That's cool.
I recently watched Shrill on Hulu.
How was
Anybody
that?
seen it?
No, not yet.
Haven't.
I enjoyed it a lot. I was really upset that there's only 6 episodes, maybe 8, but they're only 30 minutes long. So I kind of got to the end of the last episode and was like, fuck, that's it. And I binged it all in, one sitting. But no, it was fantastic. Great writing, costume design, fantastic. And the soundtrack was really great too. Got a couple good songs off of it.
I'll tell you, man.
I recommend it.
Cool.
I want to watch that shit. I gushed about Pin 15 last week, and like since that sort of like legitimized the Hulu originals for me, and now I'm kind of like I'm actually like paying attention to what they're doing, and that one in particular struck me because I like what's her fucking name, the lead?
Adie Bryant.
I'm blank. Adie Bryant.
Yeah.
Adie Bryant's great. I love her.
She was.
So
I want every single
excited.
piece of clothing that she wore in that show. I know I'm being super relatable to both of you right now, but just FYI for the ladies out there.
Ladies.
that's how I felt about Paris Hilton in this movie.
Oh, God.
You guys got any lowrider short shorts for me?
I really want these hip bones to be sticking out there for everybody to see.
I want to be jagged out in the world with my hip bones. Let's go.
That's so funny. Well, Shrill's been my main thing. And then, God damn it, Rob.
Sorry.
I have been rewatching Barry, getting ready for the second season to come
Nice.
back. Super excited.
I've been meaning to watch that as well. You're on all the shit I haven't gotten to.
You haven't watched the first season of Barry?
No, I watched a documentary on HBO about white supremacist, but that's about it.
Oh, all right.
Close.
You
Almost
get a
the same
pass
thing.
just
That's
for
as
that.
close as I got.
And then the only other thing that I watch, like an episode before I go to bed every night, is The Office.
Nice.
That's pretty much it.
Nice.
Good call.
Oh, low battery on my phone. Don't die. It should be.
Oh, I just had two people point at me and act shocked at my face. So I
It is plugged in.
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty much a normal day for me.
According to the laws of physics, everything is plugged in. I don't know. Hopefully that works now. We'll find out.
If I go bye. I'll see you guys next week, I guess.
Yeah, no, we'll fix it. I watched a few movies this weekend here. I got a couple movies when I was at Spooky Empire from the Vinegar Syndrome folks, and I watched those. I watched a movie called Mausoleum, which had like some pretty cool like practical effects. It's like kind of an older movie. It's got some decent like spooky atmosphere, but it's like relatively cheesy, and it has a lot of like moments in the movie where it'll just have this still frame, and then like a woman's eyes will start glowing green, and it's like it feels like a haunted house, like a cheap haunted house ride almost.
That sounds great. Actually,
That sounds fun.
In movie form. It's fairly entertaining. I also watched Ice Cream Man for the first time.
Because I'm your ice cream man.
Yeah.
I cannot get away from that song. Can I just say really
Really?
quick? It's on
Oh.
our fucking candy mix at work. Like we have a mix
Oh,
of candy
that's-
songs. And it's always in my ear.
It's a very
and
sexual song for
Yeah.
fucking
it's incredibly sexual.
like
We have,
children's.
well, we also have, it's like our Springfield mix from when we were there like 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
so there's like some seedy things on there. So there's that and Pour Some Sugar on Me
Nice.
and Milkshake by Khalees, you know? So we're getting real weird.
Oh fuck! I love that.
It's a few for the adults on there. Ice Cream Man is the fucking shit. I loved it. It's so
What's
terrible.
his name?
Clint Howard.
Clint Howard.
It's terrible
He's so
in the best way.
He's so ridiculous.
He is. There's severed heads on giant waffle cones, and I mean, if that doesn't sell
What?
you, I don't know what will. It's amazing.
That's a movie I think primarily best enjoyed with other people, though. Which I didn't. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I watched it, which I think that it would have been so much better if it had been in a group of friends.
I agree. Yeah, and the Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome has this bonus feature on it where you get the entire episode of Monster Vision, where Joe Bob like presents the movie and talks about it from the 90s. It's like
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
it's pretty badass. So you can watch it with Joe Bob if you want.
You know, that actually reminds me. Somebody, and I meant to bring this up when we were talking about Joe Bob, but somebody mentioned that Chud on Arrow, the Arrow release of Chud, has a bonus feature with John Hurd and Daniel Stern doing an audio commentary where they just shit all over the movie. And it's apparently hilarious. So somebody help me find that. I know those Blu-rays are hard to find, but
Yeah.
I'll pony up some money for that shit.
You got to go to the eBay nerds and give them like $60 for that one.
Maybe not that much, but somebody hook me up. Somebody do my work for me.
Hook my dog up. I also watched a movie called Dragged Across Concrete, which is the new movie from Craig S. Zoller.
Jesus.
He did Bone Tomahawk and Brawl in Cellblock 99 prior to this, starring Vince Vaughn and what's that crusty,
that's that Vince
crusty old
Vaughn
white fellow. I can't remember his name now. Anyway, they're like two crooked cops, and they're put on suspension for treating a certain perp unfairly, and they decide to turn to a life of crime, basically, and they get in over their heads.
As you do.
Mel Gibson is
I was
the
gonna
other
say-
star that I
Mel!
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Mel Gibson.
That's right. This is the Conserva movie.
Conserva movie? What is that?
It's a conservative-driven
Conservative.
movie. It's like they're both like the last conservatives in Hollywood.
Randy, no!
That's what they talk about.
Oh, you
They talk.
froze.
It's a self-identification thing. I have no idea, but that's I remember seeing that. I'm like, oh, okay, so they just banded together to make their own movie. That's fine. Is it good?
Yeah. I liked it a lot, actually. It's just shy of 3 hours long. It's quite a long movie, but like every character in it is incredibly well written, and the dialogue is incredible. And there are a few scenes of like insane brutality, which if you've seen this guy's other 2 movies, then you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
It's got Don Johnson in it.
Don Johnson, yeah, he's in it for a hot minute. It's also got
Jennifer Carpenter.
Thank you. I was gonna say Deb from Dexter,
Deb.
but yeah.
Or
okay.
what the fuck? Scary
Emily
movie was she in?
Rose.
Emily Rose.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Whew.
She'd
That
be in
movie.
it. She'd be in it. Somebody's head definitely explodes in this movie. It's a good movie.
Anyone get dragged across concrete though?
Yeah. There's a lot of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it.
There's
Well,
a few. There's a few.
Promise fulfilled.
Yeah. There's a handful of that occurring. Anyway. Yeah. Recommend. Good shit. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been watching. Let's go ahead and talk about the main event.
That's hot. That is really hot. That's hot.
We're
Andy,
gonna
in case you're wondering, he's just pressing all of the soundboard buttons.
We're gonna get.
I
hot
see
in
him
here.
like he's like a fucking watching the Phantom of the Opera work on his organ.
Oh, I'm tickling the ivories.
That's hot.
So we're talking about House of Wax, Paris Hilton version, the
Yes.
good one, the good one.
The good one.
Let's kick it off with a little bit of the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
What is on the back of the box? House of Wax from 2005. The plot synopsis is as follows. A group of unwitting teens are stranded near a strange wax museum and soon must fight to survive and keep from becoming the next exhibit. Spooky. Oh, shit.
Like Exhibit the punk your
yes.
pimp your ride guy.
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
love him.
just checking.
Welcome to Wax Your House with Exhibit.
Wax your house. Oh, that sounds like a very sexual euphemism.
Yo, girl, I'm about to wax that house.
That's
I want to
hot.
hear. I want to know what like people from like 1920 would make of that sentence.
So this is
Oh, you're gonna wax my house, see?
Listen, I gotta wax my house with my buddy Exhibit.
he's got a lot of moxie. This is a remake of the Vincent Price original from the 70s. I forget exactly what year. But that was like Vincent Price's breakout movie, House of Wax. It was in 3D. It's a big deal.
I think it was
In the
60s.
70s?
Was it the 60s? Maybe it was.
Kind of late for Vincent, maybe even 50s. I don't know. I'll look it up.
Did
I don't
they have
know.
3D back then?
Numbers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. I know, right?
Damn.
What? So, this, so like I said, this was a winner of the March poll pick. And oh, you're a robot. You're a robot. Randy?
Uh-oh.
There you
Am
are.
I back?
Yeah, you're good.
You're back.
You're good.
The House of Wax was 1953, so you're only one full-grown adult away.
53. Shit on my balls. Okay.
What the fuck?
This
It's just weird to think people in the 50s had ideas like that to make that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Oh, people in the 50s, like Ed Gein.
Well, yes, that's true.
He was a weird guy.
I rest my case.
This was the winner of the movies that Randy will hate theme of March.
I was gonna ask what the theme was for
A
March.
hate crime against me.
That was the theme. So I guess when we get into the review, we'll find out if that's accurate or not. But real quick, do a round table here. Had you guys seen this movie before? And kind of what were your thoughts going into it? And would you recommend people check this out? Tammy, would you mind kicking us off?
Word. Yes, I have seen it before. When did I see it? When I was like 13 or 14 when it first came out. Number 3, would I recommend it to people? Yes. 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 A million times. Yes.
Nice.
Oh, shit. We went falsetto there with that recommendation.
Strong recommend. I like it. I
Thanks.
like the conviction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've had a couple beers.
Have a couple more. Randy, how you feeling?
So I had not seen this movie. This is actually the only movie on the March. Was it March?
Yeah, March.
The March.
Yeah.
The March poll pick that I had not seen, so I could not confirm or deny whether or not I hated this movie.
Cool.
And actually, no. Anyway, no, I hadn't seen this movie, and I was going into it expecting to hate it based on everyone's thoughts about whether or not I'd like it. I never thought that like this movie was going to be anything other than a giant steaming fat turd. And I avoided it like the plague. I was working at the movie theater when this movie came out, and I got free movies, and I actively did not watch this movie, which was a rare gem of a movie for me to not watch it for free at that time when I was a bored teenager. So, yeah, I didn't know much about it beyond the Paris Hilton thing, and true to being a teenager in that era, I hated her guts for whatever reason. So, yeah, do I recommend it? Not exactly, no.
That is really hot.
Not exactly not, though. There's a problem here, because I don't think that I would characterize my feelings about this movie as hate at all.
Okay.
So I think we done fucked up, because I don't know that I hate this movie at all.
Oh,
Oh my
shit.
God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
It's just such a fucking like it's such a weird thing, but it seemed like a shoo-in. I was like, I mean, I hadn't seen it, but I was like, it seems like a movie I'd probably hate. I don't know that I'd characterize it that way, man. I think, and I'm not just saying that to be contrarian. I kind of like was looking for everything I could pick apart and rant about, but I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Okay, cool. So would you recommend people check it out then?
Not heavily recommended. No, I wouldn't go that far, but
Yeah. I kind of feel similarly. I did see this once before back in the movie theater when it first came out, and I wasn't really a fan of it. I actually remember it being much worse than I think it really is. On the second watch, I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I didn't like love it, but I was like, oh wow, that's substantially better than I recall. So yeah, I'd probably give it a light recommend myself, which is an interesting turn of events. So I'll go ahead and drop the spoiler warning, and oh God, we'll get into the nitty gritty. Here we go.
Spoiler warning.
Let's
God damn it, Rob.
do it. I know, somebody take this away from me. So
I wish I could.
House of Vox. So this movie starts off in 1974, which is maybe that's why I thought the original was in 1974. It had that year in my brain.
Maybe.
With like these two kids, they're twins, and they're like toddlers. One of them is sort of being a bit of a tyrant, and the other is just like kind of like a normal kid. And the parents are super shitty to the one that's kind of throwing a fit, and the mom's like making a mask out of wax for some reason.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah, and the movie just kind of they drop the title card, and then it jumps to present day, which is 2005. But you kind of see these twins, so you get that in your mind. And then, of course, two of our main players here are also twins. There's a boy and a girl.
I think, but I just real quick before we get into it, I actually like the one thing that I really didn't hate about this movie was the title card. I love that fucking that treatment. I don't know, it worked for me pretty well. And then the fact that it was actually that exact like lockup or whatever was on the actual House of Wax. The whatever. I loved that. I thought that was fucking cool. I thought it looked great, and I love that they integrated it into the movie strongly. So,
yeah, it plays a big
small
part.
thing.
Big part
Small
in the
thing.
In the end, the climax, sort of like a big set piece
It does.
deal, which is interesting. Also, I love how they lead very heavily with some Deftones in like the first couple minutes of the song of the movie, rather. The whole soundtrack in general is kind of a blast from the past. You've got your Disturbed, your Manson.
This is where you lose me, because I was not a nu metal kid ever. And so I was hearing this shit and I was like, oh my God, now that's what I call nu metal. Part 17 just needed a new title. They came to this movie and said, hey, put Paris Hilton's name next to Slipknot's. Let's see what happens.
We're going to make so much money.
I'd have to look at the soundtrack again, but the only song that stands out to me the most is the end credits song, which was fucking My Chemical Romance, I think.
Yeah, My Chemical Romance.
That's
What
right.
a
Yeah, that's the
strange
one I
song to play at this point.
Yeah.
And what's weird is that this is kind of like at the, like almost like the last gasps of the big rock band situation. Like there's not a whole lot of that anymore. Everybody is like leaning into hip hop or country. It seems like with pop music now, or like, I just don't see a whole lot of like rock genre bands getting out there. And My Chemical Romance might be like the last of that. So this is a weird time capsule of that moment.
It is.
Yeah, they got the Stooges on there, and that's sort of not quite butt rocky. I didn't either, but it's listed on here. I'm just kind
Any
of
Taking
looking.
Back Sunday? They were big around that time.
No, they got some Harmar Superstar, some Stutterfly, Prodigy, Interpol, Disturbed, Deftones.
God damn! It sounds like your CD rack from when you were in middle school.
It sounds like Welcome to Rockville, Jacksonville.
Manson.
Florida.
It really does. Yeah,
it does.
Like present day.
Planet.
Prodigy was supposed to be there, actually. I just
Oh, no
remember
shit.
that. Oh.
Pour one out. And of course,
Into my mouth.
into the mouth. This movie, like, whenever it jumps to present day and you're introduced to like kind of our main cast, it's just a bunch of I guess like college age kids, and they're going on a road trip to go watch a basketball game in Baton Rouge, and they decide to take a shortcut, and of course it doesn't go their way because they run into some country bumpkins, and everybody knows that anyone that's from the South or the country in general, they're just very dumb, gross, and evil as fuck.
Dirty.
They're just dirty and evil. They just
the
are.
wax that makes it happen.
And they're
man.
missing
The wa-
teeth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Look like
Yeah.
they haven't slept in a while.
They kind of like, I mean, it's a little weird to say this being such a big fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but they went so on the nose with how bumpkin-y that first character is.
Yeah.
Like, they did not spare any joke at the expense of Appalachia folk or whoever. They
Are you
were
talking
like
about the roadkill pit?
the roadkill pit, and,
Which was incredible.
and the guy who climbs through it. Yeah, talking
I
about
can't
him.
imagine how bad that in real life, that smell. Because they were all like, oh my God, it's terrible. And then 2
Yeah.
seconds later, they were like used to it. Just like, who's this guy?
Yeah, and they're like,
would be
oh, let's
awful.
fuck or let's not fuck.
Right.
And fucking
Oh
cousin
my God, I
Skeeter's
might be pregnant. So
I think I might be pregnant with
Is
your
that-
roadkill baby.
you guys are roughly my age. So what the guy
Yeah.
who's like a big football fan,
Yeah.
is that the actor from My Cousin Skeeter? Like, you remember that Nickelodeon show? I feel like it was. This is like,
I don't know.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
gonna have to
know.
look that.
I was
Doesn't ring a
thinking
bell.
about who he reminded me of before we started recording, and I decided not to say anything to not
It is.
sound racist.
No, it's the kid from Cousin Skeeter, which was a show that I did not care for. So I don't know. I was just trying to confirm that, and you guys let me down. So no big deal. Whatever.
Paris Hilton's boyfriend? That's who you're talking about, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
For a minute, I thought you meant in real life. I was like, how the fuck?
Blake. Yeah, his name is Blake in the movie, and he
Blake.
exists.
It's Robert Richard or Rick. I don't know that it's got an apostrophe, ill-placed apostrophe in there. I'm not sure how you got
Ricard,
it.
I think is probably is it. But yeah, he exists in this movie to bone Paris Hilton. That's
Yeah.
like his whole character arc.
Ain't to love Gator football.
Gator bait. he's afraid to
Ridiculously.
leave Gainesville.
Because
Anyway.
they don't explicitly say Gators, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't want to pay the University of Florida or be sued by the University of Florida. But it is Gainesville, and it's football, and he's wearing a nondescript blue jersey, so you got to assume.
Oh yeah, it's Gator football, Gator Nation, Gator bait.
Did anyone
You know,
else? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm good. Go. I was
Well-
going to do a bad bit. Go ahead.
Okay, I will. Did anyone else notice, kind of between Chad Michael Murray and Alicia Cuthbert, they're
Yep.
brother and sister, but
Yep.
got a lot of tension there of the
Ah.
There's some
sexual
real-
nature.
Some real George Michael and maybe shit happening right there.
And they're twins.
They're twins.
They are twins.
They got
yeah.
some Game of Thrones shit going on.
doing it
Who
in the
compliments you better than your twin? I mean, make those weird babies, man.
Chad
he's the
Michael
bad
Murray.
twin,
Yeah,
and I'm the good one.
He's the evil twin. God, you're just a little bit of a douche. Like, chill out,
Yeah.
man. You're not murdering
Yeah,
folk.
Win. Right.
It's fucking ridiculous.
The way that man drinks beer with like the one finger wrapped around the very top of the bottle bothered me.
Yes.
Nobody drinks beer that way.
Yes.
I love that. That's what bothered you about him.
It did.
what bothered me about him was everything else, pretty much.
Everything else. Were you a fan of One Tree Hill?
I was not, although I was aware of it.
Okay.
He's in that, right? This
is like prime. He's one of the main characters, but I think this is prime One Tree Hill time. So I think they really pulled on for like audience to go see it. Alicia Cuthbert was just off of Girl Next Door. He was on One Tree Hill, and Paris was in The Simple Life.
It's so weird to me that Cuthbert was just off of
Girl Next Door.
Girl Next Door, because she's pretty good in that movie. I always had pretty like high opinion of her acting. Her in that, and even in 24, which I didn't see a whole lot of, but she seemed pretty capable in that. And then this movie, she was really given a stinker of a character. It's just, there's not a whole lot going on for this character.
So the characters, like, just in this movie are non-existent, really. Like, there's hardly any arc to anyone in this movie. They just sort of exist to be kind of loosely shitty young folk, and then they just get murdered. And that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, she's a twin, and she has a boyfriend, and their brother, fucked up brother, supposedly. But that's it. Like, she doesn't really have much of her own.
She's she's moving to New York, and like her boyfriend's not going to follow her. Maybe
that is not. That is such an underdeveloped arc, and I don't like not that I wanted really more of it, but I will say that like they don't really describe like what she wants in New York, what the plan is. It's just like, I'm hesitant to go to New York, but I'm going to New York, and why are you not supporting me by moving thousands of miles away? You insensitive ass. Okay.
They didn't even tell us what her major was.
She's going to NYU, and she's going to study filmography or like film history.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm just making it up. Probably. She's going to live in Brooklyn.
Seriously, I just lost that shit. Yeah.
You glitched out a little bit.
You're glitching.
Yeah. Oh, I was just laughing at what you were. That's all.
Oh, I'm hilarious. This, I want to kind of get back to the country bumpkin stuff for a hot minute, because like when that dude pulls up to the pit of like rotting roadkill and he's like throwing deers into it off the back of his truck and everything, if you look at his truck, it is just literally covered entirely with like blood and guts from this roadkill that he's picking up. It's like why is he doing this? No one's paying him to do it, and why is his truck so absolutely disgusting? Like, there's just no need.
Because the people writing this movie and creating this movie have such a high opinion of Florida that they just assume that he has a high kill rate as a good hunter.
This, you know? I think they're officially in Louisiana at this point, which...
Really? I thought the whole movie took place in Florida.
No, man, they're going to Baton Rouge to watch the basketball game.
I got mixed up then. I thought those were Florida rednecks, not Baton Rouge rednecks.
Yeah, I think they're like Bayou rednecks, I believe.
They missed an opportunity to work in some Cajun shit. Badly.
Some voodoo. Some voodoo. They could have put that fucking song in there too. It would have been better.
Just sing us out.
Okay, here we go.
That song isn't by Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, so it can't happen.
Gracious. So this movie takes, one of my biggest complaints with it is it's like, what's like an hour and 50 minutes or so. It's long. It's like way too long.
There's a lot of hemming and hawing at the front of this movie.
Yes.
A lot.
It's like 50 minutes before they get to the damn wax town or something. Like, come on.
But
Which is another thing. Oh, go ahead. No, please.
You go ahead.
Sorry.
I let you. I went before you last time.
Okay. All right. I was shocked by that, but I seem to remember somebody telling me that Paris Hilton was only in like 20 minutes of this movie, and I took that to mean she was dead by minute 20, and that did not happen. I was like, when are they going to kill? When are we going to get to the fireworks factory here? When is it going to happen? And it just didn't. It took fucking forever for any sort of like any murdering really to start happening. Sort of any.
That is
they
true.
really like. I don't know.
I remember checking the timestamp after it was because I had to pause it and rewind it a couple times because I was taking a Instagram of my favorite line of the film when fucking Dean from Gilmore Girls, aka Alicia Cuthbert's boyfriend in the movie, takes his key against the house of wax and he's like, "It's all wax, like literally." The best. But when I paused it, no one had died at that point and we were on like the 40-minute mark.
That fucking the dialogue in this movie, it does not. Whoever wrote this has a very low opinion of teenagers. I'll tell you that much. They did not like. Alicia Cuthbert says some variation on freak like 12 times, and I guess it's supposed to pay off, but like at the end, but it doesn't. She's just like, if I'm freaked out, this guy's a freak. Freak much? She says that so many variations on freak that I couldn't not pay attention to it and be like, okay, what are you doing, writers? Let's give it a break. Pump the brakes. Find some new colloquialism to use.
Now I gotta watch it again.
You have to. You have to watch it again. There's also way too many nods to like the whole Paris Hilton sex tape thing, which I guess was a big deal in 2005. Like they're carrying around a handy cam in this movie, really for no reason at all. And they're driving down the road and they kind of make it look like she's giving her boyfriend some roadhead, but she just dropped her lip balm. But like the whole thing just feels wildly unnecessary. It adds nothing to the movie whatsoever. It's just like,
not.
Hey, you know about this sex tape thing, right? You know? You know? You know about it.
It requires outside knowledge for anybody to like enjoy it, and not the good kind of knowledge.
Yeah. Come on.
And it doesn't really hold up for people watching it nowadays, especially if
Right.
they don't have that knowledge.
Right,
Makes no sense.
Kids who are like, "What's a Paris Hilton?
Right.
Who gives a shit?
She's like the best DJ in a
Sex tape? Are you kidding me?" She's like, fucking sex tape? I sent 12 selfies of my dick this morning, okay? Nobody's impressed.
Damn, Randy. No need to brag.
Yeah, well.
Also, why didn't I get one?
I was going to say, I didn't get one.
Those pics are for me. I selfie and send to myself.
Those are for Randy and our Patreon subscribers only.
That's right. You too could be the recipient of an ill-advised dick pic.
Patreon. Join the Patreon for Straight Chilling.
Is that illegal? It's probably illegal.
At the $5 level or above. No, I think there's people who
No,
who
actually,
do
that's
that,
true.
actually.
There are sex workers on there, so
Yeah.
Hey, I'm one of them apparently,
Randy.
according to my.
Add
That's
it to your
actually kind of
resume.
amazing. There's sex workers on Patreon?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I know so because we were solicited by one. One of them just sent us a message and was like, you know, hit me up here. And the name was like, you know, Big
Down
Titty
to
69
fuck.
or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was very clearly that.
He was really proud of his titties.
And Rob's like, nah, I don't like big titties. Next.
Yes. Next.
We've gone on a tangent here.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
yeah, lots of sex like, and then there was the part where like, and there, I forgot about the Doofy character, but Doofy character with his camera tries to like film her and her boyfriend making out, and she's like, "Oh, you're a pervert," and then that's supposed to be a big fucking laugh in the audience, I'm sure.
Don. His name is Don. That character is nothing. He's just like
That character,
kind of a bro,
Yeah.
I guess.
it's like, "Oh, you're the comic relief," in
Right.
that you are the person that like gets to fuck up the most out of everyone.
He wears a hat. That's all I got.
He
Yeah.
died extremely quickly, like going, not in the movie itself, but like when he actually got put into action, he went down
Oh,
quick.
the actor.
Yeah, he was he got his head cut off, right?
Yeah, it was
with,
like,
with the
God, I don't even
serpent,
remember
the
this. It's not a
serpent
good-
knives.
yeah, it was like two sword type things.
Yeah.
And it just,
Yeah, his
fucking
blade
decapitated
knife. So it's
him.
like
Yeah.
fucking Blade Trinity up in this bitch. Cuts
Blade
people's head off.
That was kind of neat. It like one of the knives had the tail of a serpent, and the other had the head. It's like okay. That's
They
a
got some
Halloween
cool-ass shit.
costume.
That doesn't really speak to being a wax doll creator, but whatever.
Yeah, I did like the mask. Like the fact that he wears a wax mask throughout the movie was kind of creepy
Yeah.
and effective. And
I actually
liked
okay.
it.
Well, here's the part of the movie that I actually can't. I can, but I don't really feel like railing on that hard. I actually, for a B movie premise, I like sort of like the brothers thing and the like the town made of wax or whatever. Like it's not the Vincent Price thing, and everybody knew that wasn't going to be the Vincent Price thing going into it. But I actually like, as far as B movie premises go, I've seen a lot worse, and it like they really like, as much time as there was in this movie, I would be happy to see more of that as opposed to more of the teenagers wondering what to do about a fucking fan belt.
Yeah. A lot of fan belt action. 15 inches. Has to be 15 inches.
Yeah, you don't
Like
have
even
the
like the
15
wax
inch.
effects and shit, like that shit looked pretty good, I thought. Like
It did.
some of,
Yeah.
like I was pretty like happy with that shit. When at the end, when brother lover, whatever, when he's trying to climb up those stairs and he's like sinking through, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. It looks dangerous. It looks, you know,
Looks
I wonder how they
hot.
shot it. Looks so hot.
That's hot. That is really hot. That's hot.
So hot. So hot.
I
don't
like
know.
how
I was
Randy's
pretty happy
learned
with
to
it.
pause now. Every time he says hot, he's like, okay, I know Rob's going
Pause
to
for
do the
Bob.
soundboard.
Bob's going to be obnoxious.
It's a Pavlovian response, really.
Yeah, the whole like Siamese twin thing is very much like a cheap B movie premise, but yeah, I'm down. I'm down. And the,
know, I
the
didn't even-
dad cuts them apart, and one of them's kind of mangled, and the other one's normal, but they're both pretty fucked up. Pretty fucked up in their own ways.
I actually don't even need him to be like, if I'm writing this movie, I don't necessarily need him to be Siamese to begin with, like, or so whatever. That's not the right term.
Siamese.
Fraternal.
I'm sorry,
Sesame twins.
everyone. No, conjoined twins, I think
Yeah.
is the
Okay,
proper term.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need that, but I actually the way that they integrated it, and they had like, that's what the disfigurement is. Like, I'm all right with that. I think that works all right. Like, and the fact that they also had at the beginning of the movie the setup for this family that when they were kids is that one is like psychotic and the other is like very whatever demure. He's like fucking the white girl in Get Out, just sitting there chomping on his Cheerios.
He belongs. He's the bass player for Slipknot. That's what he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I like that, and I also like the which one is which thing, because it's pretty clear to us as the audience kind of midway through what's happening.
Yeah.
I like Bo, the character of Bo, kind of falls apart the minute that you see the boyfriend character get it.
Right.
So we're led into that, but what we're left to like ponder is, okay, so are we assuming that the wild one is the guy with the wax face, or is it Bo? And try to figure out what that was. It wasn't a big mystery, but it gave me something to latch onto a little bit. I enjoyed that.
I agree.
Yeah, I didn't get anything out of it. They were like, oh, actually, the one with the normal face is the piece of shit, the kid that was throwing a temper tantrum, and I was like, oh, all right. I don't know. It didn't do anything for me, really, but
The
I mean, I guess it was just like, it's more like I'm just surprised it didn't offend me in some way. I don't know.
yeah, oh yeah, okay.
I did
I
enjoy, spoiler alert, when the two brothers die at the end. They die the way they were conjoined.
Yeah,
Conjointly born.
that was kind of.
That was cool.
I wouldn't. It's too far to say that was poetic, but it was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked the kill room, like his little workshop that was below the House of Wax or what, and like all the crazy devices where like he can pose people's heads with all these little rods and stuff, and then he just like sprays them with wax.
Oh, it's terrifying. And so
It's pretty
sad.
cool.
They're still alive, you
Yeah.
know? Like baby Dean was still alive.
Dude, yeah,
And then
his face
got
getting
ripped
pulled off. That was
Yeah.
pretty. Like, of course, Doofy character had to be the one just pulling. Oh, sorry, he's like fucking.
keeps pulling.
alive?
He keeps pulling.
He's like Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Vacation. He's just like, oh shit,
Right.
like just fucking up and then just walking away and whistling like it's fucking. I don't know.
Dude, I
That
ripped
was
your face off. Oh no, I'm still ripping it off. Why won't I stop? I don't know. God.
Exactly.
It's very accurate.
Yeah. Spot on.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. I got.
But even the effect there was pretty good too. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it wasn't the best effect I've ever seen, but like there's not a whole lot of movies where you are kind of invited to see a unrealistic looking human broken down that way, as opposed to trying to make something unrealistic look realistic. So I think that kind of played to their benefit, obviously, but I really like how it turned out. Like with like all the people, all the wax figures were appropriately creepy and uncanny valleyed. I don't know. And I also just like the idea that these brothers just completely took over this fucking town just by mystery means. I don't know how they did it, but
Right.
they fucking took over this town and they just populate it with tourists. Like, that's kind of a fun thing. I don't know. I'm latched onto that premise a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like the mom, she was the original wax artist, and then I guess she had some sort of disease and ended up dying. And then the dad was a doctor who like cut his sons apart, and then they all just kind of went insane. And yeah, and like kind of took over this town and built this wax museum, which is entirely made out of wax. And it's just sort of like this sideshow thing that now you can't even really get to the town. Like I don't really think they get visitors because the road's washed out, and they just somehow exist there on their own.
Because Roadkill Boy, he feeds them. He feeds them new tourists. Is clearly what's happening.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
We find that out right at the end. That he's
the
the
My
third
Chemical
brother
Romance.
that was literally never shown or referenced ever before.
The beginning and the end. Yeah,
I'm gonna call him Helena because that's that works for
Helena Marcos
well,
from Suspiria.
That was her.
Yeah,
The Roadkill guy.
you know it. You know it. What another thing I kind of noticed? This movie's very 2005 in the way that it pays extreme detail to like who has cell phones and which ones have service, and like when they lose a cell phone, they really go to great lengths to try and retrieve it. It's like very conscious of where cell phones are. Whereas like,
But at the same time, not very conscious about where cell phones are, right? Because like not everybody has one.
True.
And she did like a fake little like, oh, let me reach under the car and see if I can find my. I'm like, your hand was fucking there.
You touched it. You could hear it
touched it.
boot up.
Right. Or there's you notice like the person who's lost their cell phone, when she reunites with her lover / brother, he's not like, oh, let me get mine out to call yours and see if I can hear it ring. Just simple stuff like that.
right.
She 2005.
She's so 2005.
2000 and late.
They're all like those brick Nokia style phones too that would last for a solid decade.
You put like a new faceplate on that has Hello Kitty or the American flag or some shit on it.
Yes. I kind of creamed my jeans though when Paris Hilton, before she died, found like that box of phones. Was it her that found them?
Yeah,
it was like a crate of them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's like $40 worth of material now.
Yeah. Good old Paris Hilton. Yeah, she like her and her boyfriend are about to bang it out in the tent, and then she's about to tell him that she's pregnant, which is I guess supposed to be kind of this dramatic plot point, but it doesn't really seem to matter at all.
It doesn't. None of those plot points matter except for the brother and her because they're the survivors.
And they're
but
twins.
even the boyfriend and the will they go to fucking New York or not, like. Tell me how that culminates, because I really don't know how that arc ends, except that one just fucking dies in an unrelated fashion. I don't know. None of that shit pays off at all.
No, but they're about to bang it out in the tent, and then the music gets turned off, and Blake is like, I gotta have my banging music on. So he goes outside to turn it back on, and he gets stabbed in the neck, and then Paris hauls ass, and she has like a decent death scene. She gets speared through the forehead with just like a metal pipe, I guess, and then like falls on it, and her head kind of slides down. It's fairly effective, you know.
Agreed.
Yeah, it is effective.
Yeah.
They didn't like. I don't know. They didn't blow it out with her like I thought they would, because obviously this movie was marketed around her. So like I kind of thought that she would. She got like something of a death scene. I almost kind of thought that they would go further.
That's hot.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
There was a story that I read where I guess she had to get permission from the production company to make shirts for promoting the movie that says like "Watch Paris Die" May 5th. It's pretty funny.
Everybody trying to get on my trivia train, y'all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm glad you brought it up actually, because that to me, the marketing of this movie is kind of interesting because of things like that. Like this movie was like big with kids roughly around our age that were like me and like everybody, just like enamored with hating Paris Hilton's guts, and which was relatively unfair because she's like, I don't know, it was kind of unfair, kind of not like she was putting herself out there and she was just like a person being kind of dumb like you would expect her to be, and people were just like so schadenfreude about it, just like yeah, fuck her, I'm gonna watch her fucking die today when I go to the theater. And people like cheered when she died in the theater and shit. And so like, but she's savvy enough to know to market that shit explicitly, knows herself to make money off the back of people that hate her guts. Like, you got to give her props for that.
Well, she is a Hilton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's capitalizing on whatever infamy you have seems like in the genes.
Make money, money, make money, money.
She was also like BFFs with Lindsay Lohan at the time. Little Hilary Duff action.
Real
They were
stable
all
group
getting
of-
DUIs around then.
Just raking in the DUIs.
Raking 'em in.
So much cocaine. So much, coke.
Oh shit.
Yes.
What else we got?
There's like a pretty brutal scene where Carly, which is like the kind of our protagonist, I guess, we're like really kind of following her throughout this movie, where a dude like crazy brother glues her mouth shut, and then she has to rip her lips open. That was like pretty difficult to watch.
I remember it being much worse when I watched it the first time.
Yeah.
Whereas this time I was like, she could have easily just been like, no. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't stay around long
Yeah.
enough for the glue to dry. And then even when she like opened her mouth, it was hard, but it wasn't as gruesome as I remembered it.
Yeah, we know how crazy glue works.
Worst to me was the fucking finger through the grating. I thought that was like, you gotta be smarter than that shit. At least look at what you're doing so you can see if somebody has fucking wire cutters around your finger.
That's true.
I thought he was just gonna stomp it, which would have been just as brutal, really, to me. But like,
And in
I
that
don't know.
same scene, how does Chad Michael Murray not notice that she's, even though it's muffled, how did he's like,
Yeah.
oh, what is that? A cat? Like,
I'm
gonna. Here's screaming at full volume, and here's screaming with your mouth full. It's about the fucking same.
Sorry,
You can hum.
Randy.
you can hum-
Can I hear that one more time? Can I?
No,
Okay.
you can't.
Okay.
We're not. Luckily,
Oh.
put it on the soundboard, bitch.
Oh, you want the soundboard?
That's hot. That is really hot.
Randy, why?
Sorry, I'm done.
I pretend that I don't enjoy it, but I do.
I'm done.
Do it as much as you want.
Thank you.
Press it again.
No. Yeah, I don't know. What else? So, like the way the movie ends is it's fairly satisfying actually. Basically, the entire wax museum catches fire and melts down, and there's a bit of like a cat and mouse chase going on. And of course, Carly runs up the melting stairs instead of out the door, and you're like, why?
Classic.
Why would you do
Let's
that?
go up the stairs.
Because she's so freaked out. The guy's such a freak. She's freaking out.
Oh my god, I was so freaked out. This place is getting so hot. I
And
would
she
rather
like can't leave her lover, boyfriend. I mean, brother.
Yeah.
Got that Games of Thrones action. They yeah, she like runs upstairs and into a room and closes the door, and there's like a baby crib with the two like wax kids like still stuck together, and he like cuts through the door and separates them with his knife, and I was like, ooh,
It's beautiful imagery.
ooh, do you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a decent ending. They end up living, and then you find out like kind of
They're both the good twins.
yeah. Turns
I
out
like
they're
how
fine.
it was a crazy information dump from that sheriff. Like when they're in the back of the ambulance after they survive
Yeah.
from the melting house of wax. It's like he had just like a straight up monologue of, let me tell you every single thing about this town and about these brothers. And oh my God, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Ah, yes. The year was 1958, and there were 7 birds flying out the window. I remember it vividly. I
And
stole
we
that for
just-
Futurama.
I just like how he's like, man, we just kind of forgot about this. Didn't really want to patrol it anymore.
yeah. Fuck it.
It just got kind of hard to drive there, and we just said, fuck it.
Fuck it.
You know?
It's fine.
Probably,
got perps
probably no one was
over.
murdered. It's fine. So yeah, that's kind of the big end scene, which is kind of a neat ending. It just took too long to get to. I think there's like a good half hour where they're just trying to find the right size fan belts. You're just like, fuck.
Drink every time you hear the word fan belt.
Oh, this is 16-inch. We need a 15-inch. We gotta have 15. 16's not gonna work. We gotta give it 15. 14 definitely won't work. 16, we gotta have 15.
What did you guys think about the scene where they walk into the church and they see Bo sitting there like mourning in front of the casket?
Yeah.
Were you immediately like, oh, the wax figures?
No.
So
No?
Even having
I
seen
was.
it before, I kind of forgot.
the priest in the first time anyway, where she first walks in there, the priest is 100% a real person who looks over.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, is he really?
But then they go back in and it's definitely a wax figure. But I think they just did that to fool you, because if there's a wax figure, you'd be like, obviously that's a wax figure, because he's the only one that's facing.
I guess I
the
didn't notice
door.
that, because to me it was like, oh, these are the wax figures. Here we go.
Yeah. But yeah,
You're like, it's starting. No, joke's on you. There's another 30 minutes.
yeah. Be patient. Be patient. So I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think? Any other like major points you want to tackle before we rate? House of
man, let's
Wax?
talk about the subtext. I'm just kidding. There's
Okay.
none of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. What's this movie saying? What's it really saying?
This movie is saying Paris Hilton equal money.
I know what it's saying.
That's hot.
That's what it's saying right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think it's entertaining as fuck.
Yeah.
I think people should watch it. Maybe it kind of just, I don't know. I think it brings back a nostalgia in me of that time in my life when I was like, Freddy versus Jason, this is amazing. House of Wax, amazing. Just kind of any movie that surrounds teenagers, and I'm watching it when I'm younger than the teens that I'm watching. So I'm like, everything in my innocent mind is amazing. Any sort of sexual tension or like anything
So what
like
you're
that.
saying-
So I'm a little bit younger than you guys too. So it's like I'm getting it. I don't know. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Everybody's just
like-
trying to bang, but they get murdered.
Right.
I mean, that's a deep story.
My like 13-year-old mind probably couldn't even comprehend that she was maybe giving him a blowy in the car.
Oh my God, there's blowjobs in this movie. What's a blowjob? Someone explain it to me.
What's up, blowjob?
I mean, dropped her lip balm.
Yeah. You know?
Dude,
all.
I think it's hilarious that like one of the things you like best about this movie is justifying liking it as a kid.
It's a
I
good
have
point.
movies like that too.
I mean, well, you know.
I have
thi-
fucking Puppet Master, which is by far worse than this movie.
I also watched Girl Next Door way
God.
too young, so I had a ridiculous obsession with Alicia Cuthbert, or however you say her name. And yeah.
I remember that movie being pretty funny. I haven't seen it in quite some time.
It wasn't bad. Him and Emil Hirsch was in that, and I like him too.
Yes.
That was the first time I saw either of them really, and I liked both of their. Maybe it was just the quality of I don't know. But Emil has obviously gone on to do some really interesting shit. I love Into the Wild.
Yes.
But I haven't seen. I don't know what Cuthbert's been up to, but this is not a great
She was
great notch on her belt.
I was looking at her IMDb just to see because I was curious too. She was in Happy Endings, which I didn't see.
Yeah, I haven't watched that, but that's a show, isn't it? I thought
It
I don't
was,
know.
yeah. Yeah. It's not on it
Yeah.
anymore.
Well,
Not too much lately, though. I need more of her.
hopefully she gets back in there because I enjoyed watching her. Not so much in this movie, but in other things.
I mean, obviously, in this movie, they're setting it up for a sequel. So, can we get like a 2020 House of Wax, please?
That's another thing. This is a Universal movie, and when I started seeing the setup for this Wax Killer or whatever, I was like, they are trying to set up next year's Halloween Horror Nights
There
so
you go.
hard. And I would love a House of Wax fucking walkthrough, like
I wonder if
haunted
there was
house.
one.
I wonder too. I don't know. I'll look it up. But
She
I
was
think
in
that's a
a Weezer music video and a Gaslight
She
Anthem music
was.
video.
Here's the deal with my brain.
oh yeah.
Why am I so obviously
That is neat.
insane?
That is neat. So yeah, let's go ahead and rate this thing. I think we pretty much touched on all the main points here. Randy, why don't you kick us off? Out of 5, how are you feeling about House of Wax?
So I feel bad, but I didn't hate this movie. I feel like I didn't fulfill the promise of our poll pick. It was a little bit of a shot in the dark.
My fault.
It's not. It's not a good movie. Like it's not like it's in no danger of being confused with a good movie. I don't think anybody's going to go that far. But it is an enjoyable movie, which is what I didn't expect. And I think that if they had cut out like maybe a half hour of the teenagers being dumb and maybe stopped like I don't know, focused even more a little bit on the wax people, on the killers, and just how I don't know, showing a little bit more of their history or something. I don't know, just handle it slightly differently. It could have been like a cult classic, sort of like fun go watch movie in the vein of like a Sleepaway Camp or something. Maybe not quite like that, but something that's like not obviously not good, but still very enjoyable and worthy of revisiting over and over to laugh. It doesn't quite hit that mark either, but like as far as my expectations go, they were pretty wrong. I would say I enjoyed this movie, but you know, overall quality wise of the writing and the acting and the pacing and you know the craft of it is real bad. So I'm gonna go with 1.5. But I want to put that asterisk in there to say that I do think this movie, especially if you grew up around that time and didn't give it a shot like I didn't, give it a shot because it's kind of fun. It's got a nostalgic factor that I appreciate as somebody from that era. And setting that aside, I think that like the mythos around it is kind of fun, and I don't know. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. So that's when you asked me my recommend, I was still kind of formulating that.
Yeah.
I guess I would, but you just kind of got to know what you're in for a little bit, like with a lot of movies. Like, it's not so brutal that it would scare off anybody above the age of 14, I don't think, for the most part. And it's not goofy enough to really draw in a big cult crowd, and it's not good in any fashion to pull in anybody who likes good movies. So it's this weird nebulous sort of thing, but I think it's got value. I think it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't hate it. I'm sorry.
Sorry for lying to everybody who listens to the show.
Oh, I forgot I was going to say, why are you sorry? But you're supposed to hate it.
This was chosen to make me go on a rant that I'm famous for with like 12 people. And I just couldn't muster it, really.
I wrote a check that Andy's ass couldn't cash.
You sure did.
I'm so proud of you.
Tammy, how you feeling about House of Wax out of 5?
I am going to give it a solid 3 because I ain't as mad at it as Randy is. Not that he's super mad. I think you have to view it that it's a movie from 2005. Look at the cast. Paris Hilton, #1. You know what you're getting into. Okay, that's hot. Where you at?
I am here.
That's hot. That's really hot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you have to know what you're getting into. It's not deep. You're not going to find yourself in some like Freudian dystopian whatever-ian thing.
Just put words in there.
Put words. Can you just like bleep all this out and then just like put random words in what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. Recommend. Don't love it, but I don't hate it. And I think it's super fun to watch. I think it's definitely worth a watch. It's worth a watch if you're with a group of friends, drinking some booze. Have fun with it.
Have fun with it.
I would feel sad for you, like if you don't see it in your life.
Yes.
That's definitely beyond what I would say, but sure. This movie enriches your soul.
You'll be a better person for it.
It might reach your vajayjay.
Oh shit. That's high praise.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 2.5, kind of in between y'all. It's just way too long, and it takes way too long to get to the good stuff, and the characters are relatively non-existent. But I do kind of enjoy the town when they get there. It's pretty creepy. It's like this little ghost town, and when they get into the House of Wax, everything in it's super creepy and effective. There's like a couple decent jump scares in there with like the dog that looks like a fake dog, but turns out it's real. And there's like a wax maid whose face is like half melted off, and it's like kind of a cheap jump scare going on there. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. It's sort of like, walking through a cheesy haunted house or something.
Okay, I want to take down my score because they didn't let us know if the dog's okay.
Oh, okay.
At the end.
So a 1. You're gonna.
It's a zilch.
It's a 2.9.
2.99. Repeating. It's a extra half star for My Chemical Romance at the end.
Yep.
There's like some decent kills and some decent gore. Yeah, I don't know. There's like kind of a twist at the end where it's like the evil brother is actually kind of the normal brother, even though he's still killing people. And there's a third brother. I don't know. All that's kind of dumb and doesn't make much sense. And God help these people. They just need a 15-inch fan belt. That's all they need. And we hear about it for so fucking long.
Football.
Yeah, and football. And
do you think he asked like the cop or the ambulance driver, "Hey, you know where I can get a fan belt?"
15 inches. That's all I need. Just 15 inches.
Damn it, Dean.
There's the handy cam stuff and like the Paris Hilton stuff is kind of dumb, but overall it's like it's not as bad as I feel like it probably should have been. So I'll give it a 2.5 there.
I think the set design carries it a long way.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
I agree with that, Tam, for sure. Justin, even though he is not with us this week, he sent in a review. So we got his thoughts here with us this evening. I think it's about eight minutes long or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. And we're going to hear what Juice has to say all the way from Gay Paris. So here we go.
What up, everyone? It's your boy Who Stains, Boo Stains, Tom Cruise Stains. This week I got to phone it in. By now, hopefully, I'm up in Paris getting my fromage on. But I wanted to call in this week and give my thoughts on House of Wax 2005. This was the poll pick for March that won. It was Bob's pick, and the topic was movies that Randy would hate. And I don't know, I had never seen this movie before, and I don't think Randy had ever seen this movie before either. And I feel like me and Randy have been pretty on with our opinions and our views pretty recently. We seem to have very similar opinions about movies, and having neither of us seen this one, and the topic being movies that Randy would hate, I'm really curious because I gotta call Bob out a little bit on this one, because I don't think there's enough elements in this movie to make me think like that Randy would just absolutely hate it. So I don't know. I don't know if Bob really hit the mark on this one. I don't know. I'm curious to listen to if Randy actually does just straight up hate this movie or not, because for me, I guess going into this movie, I expected to hate it. I expected it to be complete dog shit. And this movie is notorious mainly because like Paris Hilton is in it. That's like what I know from this. And I've never seen the original House of Wax. So going into this, I just expected it to be shit. And it actually, I mean, it wasn't great by any means, but going in with that expectation, I came out kind of like pleasantly surprised, I guess. And I guess some of the things that I know that like Randy definitely would hate about this movie is like the goth mall rock that they throw in for the soundtrack of this. There's like some Deftones and some Disturbed, and I know he hates that kind of shit. And the overall, like in the beginning, especially like the first half of this movie, it's just got some really bad dialogue and some really bad acting, and a lot of the plot points are just pretty by the numbers. Oh, we're gonna take a shortcut. Oh, we're gonna get lost. Oh, all these things. So pointing those things out, I'm sure Randy didn't like those things. The mall rock really kind of sticks out to me. Like Randy hates that shit. So okay, I get that, and it's that kind of movie. So Randy would hate that. But once it kind of got into it, though, I think really once they got into the town is where it really started to get interesting to me. I actually thought it had some really cool elements for kind of like a kind of like teen slasher, I guess, from this time period, 2005. And I really liked that everything was made of wax. Like once they go to the House of Wax and he starts like peeling on the walls, just that aspect was really cool. And then that carries over toward the ending scene, which I thought was like really like interesting to see, was when everything started melting. So like, of course, this fire goes crazy, and you get to see there's this chase scene through this wax museum that's entirely made of wax, and it all starts to melt around them, and then how that kind of plays into the chase and the escape and everything like that. I thought that was actually really cool. Another thing that I liked was kind of how they kind of killed their victims. So there's this one scene where the boyfriend gets caught and he gets like encased in wax, but he's like still alive. So his eyes are moving and his friend like tries to break him out of the wax, but it just peels his skin off. Like it's a ridiculous notion, but it was like cool visually. And as far as like horror kills in a slasher, like it was pretty interesting, pretty original, I thought, without having seen the original House of Wax. So that was cool. Also, like the whole like notorious like Paris Hilton is in this movie. I mean, she's not the main. She gets killed pretty good and they don't give her a whole lot to do, so it's not like she was just completely like ruining the main lead or anything like that. She's just, you know, like a side character and we don't really care about her anyway. She's just there to kind of die, so she didn't really bring the movie down for me. I like the idea too of the evil twins. It's kind of something that's not done a whole lot anymore. The idea of like one set of twins and like one's evil, even though they're both, you know, evil in this movie, but like one's more evil, I guess, or the Siamese twins thing. So I don't know, it's cool to see that done, since it's not super popular anymore recently. So I like that. I liked the main characters, the two twins, like the Carly and Nick, I think their names are, the protagonists, like that they fight back and that Nick's actually kind of a badass. Like they break in and they get like a crossbow and they have this fight in the theater, and like that's cool. I don't know, like, so that's kind of different than just watching somebody get chased. It wasn't just a complete chasing. Now there was like some really dumb decisions, like when they decide to flip like all the switches and stuff like that. So sometimes this movie just kind of got in its own way. Like it was trying too hard to be that typical kind of teen scream kind of slasher, but and which is unfortunate because I feel like it could have been better than that. Like it was almost like giving in to expectations sometimes with that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but I did like how they fought back and how they ended up being kind of triumphant in the end, killing both the brothers. The twist at the end was dumb. Like, oh, there's a third brother. Like, that's whatever. But yeah, I liked that they had encased the whole town in wax, the people and everything. And the backstory was kind of interesting too. So I don't know. I don't think it's a movie that Randy straight up is going to try to give like a 0 or a 0.5. Like I think he'll find some of the good things in it too, but I could be wrong. So I'm curious to get back and listen to the cast and see what he had to say about it. But I don't know. I think Rob might have missed the mark a little bit on this one. I think I'm gonna give this an overall 2-star. It's not amazing, but going in with really, really, really low expectations, it surprised me in a number of ways, and I didn't hate the time I spent on this movie. It is a little long for the type of movie it is. I think it's almost 2 hours long, and they didn't even, I think the boyfriend first gets his ankle cut around like 50 minutes. So the whole like first hour of this movie is just really shitty dialogue and setup. But once it starts going, it held my attention, and I was pleased with the kills and how things progress. So yeah, overall not too bad. So we'll see what everybody else thinks. Keep chilling.
Cool. I missed the mark. Huh?
I feel seen on this shit. Damn.
It's like he's in your brain.
Randy hates
Yes.
the mall rock.
What, you guys don't know this, but we're twins, and I'm the evil twin.
Oh shit.
This podcast has come full circle.
So that's with Justin's 2.0 there. That's going to put our aggregate at a 2.25.
You know, the
Not
one
bad.
thing I disagree with him on is like he called Chad Michael Murray badass, and I don't think that's physically possible for that man to seem badass.
I just it flashed in my head the scene when the truck first pulls up and has its lights on.
Yeah.
And he just like gets really mad all of a sudden and throws a beer bottle at it. Like
Yeah.
that's going to keep things like calm and make
Super
the truck
chill.
go away. So
I
chill.
think like He's like early season Jesse Pinkman the whole fucking movie. Like he's just trying so hard to posture badass. It just does not work for me. But like everything else he said was dead on, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
He brought up the theater scene, which we didn't talk about, which I truly enjoyed.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't even bring that up either because they were watching one of my favorite movies, which had helped my opinion. Like one of my favorite horror movies is Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. They were screening that and some of the like more eerie scenes from that movie. I've thought about picking that movie for the cast multiple times, so I was pretty pleased to see it make an appearance, even in not so hot movie. Don't play it.
I was
I don't know. Okay, good. Yeah, so I mean, well played, Juice. Little too simpatico, maybe.
Yeah. Randy.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, did you?
I wanted to ask you guys something real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
So the killers that we're dealing with in this movie are not really supernatural in any way, kind of like a Michael Myers or Freddy, Jason kind of thing. How do you guys feel about the whole like 6 people versus 2 killers? And the fact that like those 2 killers, especially dealing with like such a large, I guess, kind of setting, they were able to essentially take out
like
the 6 people or the 4 people, I guess, effectively. Like they just kind of seem to be everywhere at once to like catch them or, cut them.
Well, I mean, that happens in most slasher movies, especially of that era.
Well, yeah.
And it actually like goes a long way to explaining that, which is something that nobody really worries about explaining how Jason Voorhees gets across the lake at a certain time. I mean, some people do, but that's not really what people are interested in those movies for the most part. And I felt that way about this, but if we're going to bring it up, then yeah, I think it actually goes a long way to sort of explaining that away. I don't know.
Yeah, I accept it just because I've seen, all the Friday the 13th movies, and Jason's
just
everywhere.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, if they had made this movie a little bit better, I could see it being like a good, shitty slasher franchise, of the 2000s, of which there were criminally few, probably because people were still too like burnt out on it after Scream sort of punctured a hole in the whole balloon.
We're gonna have a Scream.
Scream.
So good. Randy, have you seen the Rotten Tomatoes on this?
I have not.
Have you, Tam?
Nope.
I haven't either. So let me, in lieu of Justin, let me pull it up real quick.
Pulling it up. He's pulling it up.
Ooh, I like this.
Typing on his keyboard right now.
We could sing some Helena while we wait. That's about all I know.
You guys sound awesome. So I don't know how Justin does this. We're going to start with the critics. I think we usually start with the critics, right? Yeah. So we're going to go around the table. Everybody's going to have a guess at what the critic score is and then what the user score is on the old Rotten Tomatoes. And I didn't even play the bumper. What am I doing?
What?
Certified.
My
fresh
God.
to death.
I can't do everything.
That's hot.
The linchpin of Juice Stain is gone.
It's so
falling
hot.
apart.
So, Tammy, why don't you kick us off here and take a guess at what you think the critic score is out of 100%?
Out of 100?
Hundy.
Critics. 43.
43. Randy, how you feeling?
Man, I'm so bad at this, and there's so many funny options. I'm going to go with the classic, though, of 69, please.
Ooh.
69. Tammy's going to take it as it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a 25%.
Damn.
Oh my God, that was my second choice.
How many ratings?
It's got 155 critics reviews counted there. So,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's literally my second choice. It's like I think that finding 100 people who have watched this movie and watch movies critically for a movie that like it on the whole is pretty fucking unlikely. It's beyond the pale to think that anybody would praise this movie that much.
Kind of sounds like a dream, though, that like your job, they're just like, go see Hassel Wax, critique it for the paper.
I would happily do that. But yes,
too.
sir, or ma'am, I will.
What's a paper?
I think they call it the interwebs now.
It's blogs. Even blogs are outdated now. Fucking mommy bloggers ruining it for everyone.
Mommy blog.
I love that. I love that hot take. Let's go with that.
Love that.
Mommy blog.
Turn me into a soundboard.
I will. Y'all, what y'all thinking for this audience score here? Randy, why don't you take a stab at it?
69.
69?
Yeah.
69 percentile.
That's good.
Tammy,
You all up.
what
I'm
you
going to
think?
go with the old 5-0.
5-0. Tammy's going to take it again, as it is a 42%. Damn.
Yep. That follows.
I kind of expected the audience to be higher. I figured
Yeah.
Randy would get it, but
Yeah. There's 404,570 user ratings. It's a lot.
that is a lot.
That is a lot.
They were
I
all
feel like
Paris Hilton
this is
haters.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, like 60% of them are. I think that this is a movie that also would pull people out of the woodwork to defend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially on an internet format, because these are internet literate kids who saw this for the first time when they were
Internet.
kids.
Internet.
And so, like, I can imagine there's a lot of people coming and say, "Shut up, Paris is cool," or whatever. I don't know.
The critics' consensus is as follows. Bearing little resemblance to the 1953 original, House of Wax is a formulaic but better than average teen slasher flick. Yeah, I think
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
We actually
Better
didn't
than
even talk.
average.
Yeah.
We didn't. I guess it doesn't matter really, but we didn't talk about the original at all, which, you know, it's a fucking classic for Vincent Price, and it's like I think that actually contributes a lot to how people react to this movie when it was coming out, because it was, to the horror community, that's pretty hollowed ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. At least for the older guard, but it wasn't really marketed to those people to begin with. So I don't know. I think it's interesting the way that, like, I think that maybe this movie is due for some long awaited rebuttals from people. You know, like, I think this movie needs some defenders. I'll be honest.
Well, Randy, I'm glad that you're one of them. Congratulations.
I guess so. I'm like the most apathetic of its defenders. Like, yeah, I mean, I get why you hate it. You probably should, but maybe don't.
Yeah, it's not too terribly bad. There's a 5-star rating in here. It says, really great horror film. Chad Michael Murray was amazing. Scared me quite a lot. Extremely spooky. I don't know that it'd go quite that far, but
I like that you
Is the
went with
username
almost country
C.
bumpkin.
Michael Murray?
Chad Michael Murray.
Or Sophia Bush. I think they were married during
Oh
that time.
shit! I don't know who that is.
I don't either. Yeah.
It's hot.
It's hot. It's hot. Randy, you got some trivia on this one?
Sure.
Let's do it.
It's totally time for trivia.
Take it away, dog.
All right, so some of it we already spoke about. There's not a ton, but I'll go through what I have. So some other people who were slated to play the lead role of I'm sorry, not the lead role, the Paris Hilton role of Paige Edwards, who came on sort of late in this movie, I think. Who do you think? There are a couple names here of famous actresses who were considered for this role. You guys have any thoughts on that? Any guesses?
I mean, my previous guess is Hilary Duff or Lindsay Lohan.
Those are solid guesses.
Kristen Dunst,
That's another solid
That's a
guess.
solid guess. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Maybe.
So-
Yeah. Go ahead.
There's one that I would have expected, and one that I'm a little surprised by. The one I expect is Jennifer Connelly. I think that makes sense. She was all in that Chainsaw remake, wasn't she?
Yeah. What
Was
was
that
she
her?
doing around this time?
Actually, I'm not sure if that was her. Now I'm double
The
guessing myself.
Chainsaw
But
No.
Oh no, that was fuck.
The other
I gotta
one.
look.
I
That
gotta
up. Yeah.
We'll look it up,
That was
but-
Jessica Biel.
Yes.
Jessica Biel. Actually,
Oh my god, she was so hot in that. Ugh.
So hot.
Sorry, that wasn't even.
So
I wasn't
hot.
even trying to be Paris Hilton. Like she legit.
I'm sorry.
so
I was
hot.
confusing those two. This woman was in Requiem for a Dream. Jennifer
Yes.
Connelly's from Requiem for a Dream and Beautiful Mind and shit.
And
So yeah,
Labyrinth.
that is a little shocking. And Kate Winslet was the other one, which is really shocking because
Fuck.
Oscar winner for one of the biggest fucking movies of the 90s. You want her to come back and say, like, act against fucking a dude with a camera? I don't know, man.
This just makes me so interested to look at their IMDb's and see what else they were doing around that time. Because Eternal Sunshine was 2004, But it's like that just doesn't make sense to me.
Does not compute.
Neither of those. No, they definitely don't
those are
compute.
both wrong. I was confusing Jennifer Biel and Jennifer Connelly, or Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel. You're fucking my
I
shit
confuse
up,
people
Randy.
all the time because I'm the trivia guy. Why wouldn't you want a trivia guy who confuses actors all the time?
All the time.
All of the
And
time.
films and directors. Let's go forward. Alicia Cuthbert got stuck repeatedly in the melting wax before filming the final while filming the final scenes of the movie. The wax was actually peanut butter.
No
Sounds
shit.
delicious. Sounds delicious, right?
I was going to
It does
guess
sound
oatmeal.
delicious.
I'd just be eating the set.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh.
She's really chewing up the set over there.
Bazinga!
Ew.
I'm here for the dad jokes, apparently.
That's hot.
Also, in the church where Carly hides, as well as the movie theater where Carly and Nick are hiding, most of the wax figures were actually extras wearing masks, which I kind of anticipated.
It's creepy
I don't know
as
about you
fuck,
guys.
though. Can you imagine shooting like that? You know?
Like, as
Yeah.
one of those people, like,
Well,
I don't know
even
how-
like not as one of those people, like you're doing your scene and there, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just freaks me out to
People
think
sitting
about people.
well, that's
there
the whole
watching
thing.
you
Like, that,
being-
even in the original, that whole uncanny feeling of a wax figure maybe being an actual person, that's the whole thing. Like, that's it. So that's the whole concept. So, yeah, it's got to be eerie to be walking around a bunch of people and not sure which one is, like, if any of them are actually thinking, you know?
Fuck yeah.
While filming in the abandoned sugar mill chase, Paris Hilton was embarrassed by her scream. So the first 3 times she screamed, she had the whole cast and crew scream along with her. That's the most humanizing sentence I've ever heard about Paris Hilton.
Were they just screaming about how hot it was?
It's hot! Oh, God, it's so fucking hot!
That's what I was thinking when the lover twins were escaping at the end, when they were in like the melting wax. I was like, God, they have to be burning,
Yeah.
like their hands and their feet. I thought that was
would-
a little underplayed.
Drop it like it's hot.
It's hot.
It's
Okay.
hot.
Jared Padalecki, who played the boyfriend, is 1 foot taller than Alicia Cuthbert. So to make herself appear taller in scenes where she had Padalecki in it as well, they would be filmed together with Cuthbert taping 2-inch blocks of wood to the bottoms of her boots.
Damn.
2-inch blocks of wood. That's fucking weird, man. That's some Tom Cruise shit. This is only done during scenes where they would be shot from the knee up. So, yeah.
That
2
knee
inches
shot.
seems small to even
Bother with.
Yeah.
Not that big
Yeah,
of a deal.
exactly. Now you're just 10 inches shorter.
It's like the ideal, though. They're going for like the ideal of like ratio of like when they hug, it's like perfect. Like her boobs fit into him perfectly, and like his shoulders encompass her. I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, like that's what I think. You know,
Eyebrows have to be at shoulder height. You got to be right there.
her head has to like nestle into his shoulder perfectly.
She shouldn't be able to, like, I don't know, tongue kiss his belly button. That's probably
It's so hairy.
oh god. On 26th of June 2004, a soundstage being used for this film burned to the ground during a test of special effects equipment. The fire was started by a candle and destroyed a studio at Warner Brothers Movie World on Australia's Gold Coast. So this was filmed in Australia, by the way. One crew member was treated for burns to his arm, but no one else was injured. The smoke reached a nearby highway, which was not shut down. I don't know why that's included, but yeah. So there might be an actual House of Wax serial killer out there now who worked on this movie and got and mutilated to serve Paris Hilton's career. What are you gonna like? I would go crazy. Let's see. Did you guys know? This is something I included because it was interesting to me. This was released 52 years after the 1953 original and 72 years after Mystery of the Wax Museum in 1933, which this film is a remake of both. I had not heard of that. So, like, yeah, this is like it's on IMDb. It's a 33 movie. Director Michael Curtis. There's not a whole lot of information about it from here, and I haven't researched beyond that. But yeah, I guess House of Wax was a remake in and of itself, which is news to me.
Not know that.
I'm gonna have to check that shit out. Let's see. There were numerous reports of people cheering in the theaters when Paris Hilton's character was killed.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Got
And
him,
Randy
bro.
was one of them, but from the lobby.
We just paid to watch this woman fucking get killed, and then she's gonna get paid, and then we're gonna still not be paid.
At least
We
there was
gave her-
Peacorn.
I hate this so much. I'm gonna pay her money to pretend to die.
I will just say your little note of Kate Winslet and Jennifer Connelly both being up for the role. In 2006, a year after House of Wax, a movie called Little Children came out that had both of them in it. So I wonder if it was like a contractual time-wise thing.
Couldn't do it.
Little Children. It says the lives of two, and my phone's not loading. The lives of two lovelorn spouses from separate marriages, a registered sex offender, and a disgraced ex-police officer intersect as they struggle to resist their vulnerabilities and temptations in suburban Massachusetts.
I remember hearing about this movie because if I remember right, this is one that sort of like directly tackles the idea of somebody being like a pedophile.
Oh shit!
It's fucking. Yeah, like not in a way where it's like they're just a drooling creep, but they actually like humanize the person a little bit, and it was not well received by everybody.
I don't want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. Moving forward, Warner Bros. Oh yeah, this is your trivia. Warner Brothers granted Paris Hilton permission to sell T-shirts that read "On May 6th, watch Paris die" in order to promote the film. Yeah, who wouldn't be excited to have Paris Hilton go to clubs wearing a shirt advertising her own death? Great. The death of Paris Hilton's character was originally longer and featured more gore, but it was cut for the theatrical release. Somebody got to get that DVD extra, bro. I got to see the extra.
I have it.
Oh, you poor son of a bitch. Alicia Cuthbert insisted on using real glue on her lips instead of prosthetics for the glue scene where Carly's lips glued together. That's why I shut up when you guys started talking about that, because knowing that makes that scene actually matter to me.
Yeah.
That's hardcore, dude.
Shit.
I wouldn't have guessed that at all. So I was like, man, her lips are really red. They did a pretty decent job with that, but it's not like the most compelling scene in and of itself, so it didn't really stick with me. But yeah, she insisted on, like, you got to respect that. Mm-hmm. She said the word freak a lot, but she really glued them lipstick. She's admirable.
Super freaky.
Last but not least,
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was a little late.
We referenced that song last week too. I don't know.
We did during Castle Freak when we were watching.
During Castle Freak.
Yeah.
That's right.
Castle
He's
Freak.
a Castle Freak. Yeah. The film. This is the last piece of trivia I have. The film was originally opened with a character named Jennifer, played by Emma Lung, who I'm not familiar with, stuck on an empty road with car troubles and is attacked and killed by either Beau or Vincent. This alternate opening is included as a special on the DVD and Blu-ray. The scene was scrapped. Although the scene was scrapped, Jennifer's presence still lingers in the film. She is the female sculpture that Vincent is working on and is later displayed with a pink dress and a bouquet of flowers outside of the movie theater. I kind of wish they had left that in and cut out like half an hour of "Am I pregnant? Am I not? Should I get an abortion?"
Agreed.
A schmish.
They did spend a lot of time on Vincent carving those titties at the beginning.
That's
I was
right.
like, gotta make them
Yeah,
just
they got
right.
really close.
I think
Vincent
Justin
does not spare any expense when it comes to the breasticles.
Vincent's also probably a virgin, so
Justin gave this a 1/4 star for the wax yabos.
That makes sense.
Gotta make it just right. Anyways,
So that's what I got.
cool. Let's get into a spot of news.
Extra, read all about it.
Just a spot. So we got that new trailer for the third Annabelle film called Annabelle Comes Home. She comes home.
does she though? How's cum spelled?
CUM for sure.
Okay.
That's how.
100.
Cool.
Chill. So this is, I guess it's kind of a prequel. I guess. I don't really know. I'm getting kind of lost in this whole Conjuring universe, Wannaverse thing at this point. It's kind of excessive. But so Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are in it as the Warrens, and it takes place in their home, and they have that little like side room where they keep all the possessed shit. And this movie kind of looks like a fucked up night at the museum, basically, where like Annabelle comes to life and she brings some of these fucked up toys with her.
Just a bunch of demons.
Yeah.
she released the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
Not excited for this, really. The trailer didn't sell me. How are you guys feeling?
The one thing
man.
I will say about this movie that I would see it for, and I'm not a Wannaverse person. I was telling Bob earlier, I think I've seen 10% of his movies. But McKenna Grace plays the Warrens' daughter in this, and she is the fucking girl who was amazing in Haunting of Hill House. She played the young Theo.
One of.
Yes. One of, sure. But she was fucking fantastic. And so I'll watch fucking anything with her in it.
Yeah, I was actually kind of intrigued by that as well. I love Hill House so much.
It's
I love that season. So when I saw her, I was like, okay, well, I mean, they're not, they're not picking, bottom apples for the cast anyway. Like, she's clearly like a capable actress, and if she's the centerpiece of this movie, maybe that it's hopeful for it.
And her name is Judy. Like, all right,
Judy.
I hope she wears a shirt that just says Judy.
Because she's a Judy.
Yeah, but so this is the first trailer that I've seen, or first marketing material that I've seen actually refer to The Conjuring as a universe of films. I don't know if maybe they've done it before, but I was like, well, at least have they? This is the first time I've noticed it, I guess. And I'm like, well, at least I guess they're being honest about this being like their big fucking attempt to Thanos their way into out of mediocrity or whatever, or into mediocrity actually is more accurate. I loved The Conjuring, the first movie, but man, like these movies, the diminishing returns on them have been really staggering. And this movie, like, it's a little hopeful in the way that The Avengers was a little hopeful after, a couple of movies like Thor: Dark World. Did that come out first? I can't remember. But like, there were a couple of those movies in the Marvel universe that were kind of like, okay, getting kind of tired of this. We're hinting at something big, but we're not getting there. So this is maybe the Avengers of the Wannaverse. And with any fucking decency from the filmmakers, it'll be the death knell of it as well. It does not look good, but I'm at least okay watching a bunch of demons talk to each other or some shit. Like, not talk to each other literally, but like I'm okay with at least having a coming together of a couple things. I just don't think that it could be all that great, and if I'm surprised that it's not terrible, that's my ideal scenario. Where I'm like, oh, okay,
that's the win when it doesn't completely suck.
Yeah, and this is the last Annabelle prequel. I was just like, no, why? Just stop. And
I thought it was pretty good. I'll be honest. I enjoyed Annabelle Creation. I thought it was better than the first one. I thought I don't remember how I reacted initially, but my memory of those movies is they're both kind of bad, but I liked the first, a couple of the scares from the first one stick out to me more, and I like those better. But as far as this movie goes, it could really not be made, but since it is, hopefully they do something cool with the interacting demons, and hopefully at the end Thanos snaps his goddamn fingers and wishes it away, and
it's all done.
Hopefully this shit turns into dust after it ends in theaters.
Snap those big purple sausages and make it end.
I don't think that it's controversial to say that we're kind of sick of the Conjuring universe in horror.
Yeah. So it's going to be hitting theaters June 28th, 2019. So, see it if you want to, I guess.
It's a glowing review, ladies and gents.
Yeah, we're clear.
It's going to be
we're honor bound to watch it and review it, so you don't have to.
It's not on our schedule because we kind of have
really?
to. We can't cover everything, man. The way we have it all set up right now, and honestly, that's one that I'm cool with letting pass. You
guys are just like so cool with your fucking schedule and shit.
We have a schedule to adhere to. Next bit of news I wanted to talk about was another movie that I was kind of happy to let pass us by regarding the Child's Play reboot. There was kind of like a secret, like who's going to do the voice of Chucky, because Brad Dourif is the only person who's ever done it, and he's not doing it for the reboot. So there's a big reveal this past weekend that Mark Hamill is going to be voicing Chucky for the reboot.
Where could he be?
Yeah, so I was like moderately interested in this in this reboot, but like after hearing Mark Hamill's doing the voice, that actually made me substantially more intrigued by it. Mark Hamill, yeah, he's like a very talented actor and obviously like a very solid voice actor. He does like the Joker and stuff. I think that could work out. I feel like it was a solid choice to get him.
It's
to
another
do it.
one of those things where it's like, okay, you're not picking the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
But
Right.
that doesn't mean that this movie's going to be worth a shit. Let's
True.
hope it is.
True.
Let's hope that Mark's made a good decision for himself.
I'm
Because
in it
we
for
like
Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, yeah, Aubrey is in that.
that's true.
I like Aubrey too, but like I'm not like if there's a movie that she's in that's a stinker, she's still young. She's going to get past it.
True.
But
She's
she's
a
obviously
mom.
fucking talented. I'm not like it's really more the premise. The change in premise of the Chucky mythos that
a
really just doesn't appeal to me.
Robot doll instead of like
Yeah.
this voodoo possessed doll thing.
I
Yeah.
get that they like a change is worthwhile, but I don't know if that's the change, man. I don't know if it's. I like the voodoo aspect probably more than anything else about the original child play.
Voodoo.
I find myself
I know it's
more and more
dumb,
increasingly
but-
turned off by movies that incorporate more like 21st century like technology shit
Yeah.
to replace other stuff, or
Yeah.
movies
Right,
that
it's-
center around the use of your phone and
Less
computers and
interesting.
shit. Ugh,
Yeah.
I'm over it.
It seems like
I wasn't
it
even
seems like-
for it before,
Yeah.
but I'm over
it
it.
seems like it's like that thing. Well, I lost my train of thought. Fuck it.
Sorry.
Cool. Yeah.
No. I should have been listening.
So this is one that I don't, maybe we might be able to cover it. Honestly, I don't know that we will. Maybe like later in the year, but it's coming out on June 21st. So it's like a week after Annabelle or week before Annabelle. So they're coming out neck and neck. I'll see it for sure, and hopefully it's cool. I don't know. I'm excited to hear some Mark Hamill voice. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's gonna say bitch a whole.
I've been
lot.
burned by the Child's Play series so often though that it really could go in any way.
Yeah.
I'm not real excited to just set myself up for failure again.
Yeah. The last bit of news I wanted to cover is we finally got a trailer for the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie that's coming out, directed by Andre Overdahl, who did that Jane Doe movie, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which was pretty cool, actually.
I like that movie a lot.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. How'd you guys feel about this trailer we got?
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Andy's
yeah.
giving me the hand.
Yeah.
I'm fucking excited for it. Sorry, I'm coming in hot, but it's because I read this book at another like 13, 14-year-old watching House of Wax, probably.
Yeah.
I was maybe like 10 or 11, but I remember fucking loving the book. Love Guillermo del Toro, so I'm into it. And that fucking girl with the spider coming out of her face or whatever it is.
Spider pimples.
Spider pimples.
Yeah, I really, you can't have grown up in the time that we did and not come across Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And it kicked off a lot of people's love of horror in general, I think, that and Goosebumps. And they've already made Goosebumps into a family-friendly movie. I'm glad they're not going that route with this. I don't think they could have based on the source material. It's not goofy in the least, at least in terms of it's so associated with those dark-ass visuals that I don't think you could separate it and turn it into something light. So I appreciate that they're going dark. I loved Guillermo del Toro as well. And the main thing I was worried about is the look and if it'll look right, because that's such a specific style. And I really almost wanted it to be animated. I'm not 100% sure that it's hitting its mark, but I do think that it doesn't look bad. I think it looks pretty good so far. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt in general with that, as far as that goes. The one thing that I'm a little surprised at is how the story seems to be shaping up, which is that they're making the book as a real book, the way that they did with working R.L. Stine into the Goosebumps movie. Yeah. Obviously, again, not dark, not light like the Goosebumps movie, but that's how they're playing it. And I feel like I'm just not that intrigued by that way of setting things in motion. I feel like if it was, it would almost be better served as an anthology series or something, which we're lousy with right now. But I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about that, just a little bit.
I more so am just excited that it's actually being made, because it was one of those things I read and I just always felt weird for liking it. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that other people did, and I'm not a weirdo.
No, I think that, anything that was enjoyed by any small niche of people is being co-opted into the movie industry at this point. So it was bound to happen, I thought. But
when are we getting those,
I didn't feel like it was weird to like it. I think everybody I felt like everybody read that book, and maybe I was just surrounding myself with horror nerds, but
You were. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for it. I'm looking forward to it. It's sort of they give you a little bit more information here. They say that the stories kind of like start writing themselves, and each character in the movie has a story that's in the book that's in the movie. So like you kind of see the stories happen on the page, which I don't know. It could be pretty cool. The practical effects and like the monsters actually look pretty fucking scary. So
is that maybe I misunderstood the premise then? Is that really what's happening? I thought that they found
apparently
a book with scary stories in it, and this stories were coming to life. Is it that it's writing specifically for them?
Yeah, that's
It's writing itself.
Yeah, it says. Oh crap! Come back here.
Well, fuck. I mean, I'm not so turned off by that.
Yeah, it's going to be shot by shot. Whether should you read? Oh wait, no. So it's based on the stories. They had to tweak them a little bit to match the specifics of their story. Their urban tales, even though they're in the books, they're urban tales. They're actually already they're adapting the stories to each character gets their own story. Basically, is what it goes on to say. Yeah.
Okay, well, I kind of walk back my statement then. That's definitely more intriguing to me.
Yeah, what it's actually writing is what happens to each person. So yeah, it could be cool. We'll see. We shall see. So that's kind of it for the horror news.
We got some voicemails, don't we?
Yeah, we got a couple voicemails here
from a place we like to call the Further, right?
Yeah, aka Hotline Scream.
No.
Hotline Scream from the Further. So we got a
little stopgap there. All right.
Hotline Scream. Okay. We got a couple new ones. If you would like to call and leave us a voicemail yourself, you can hit us up at 904-638-3231. Let us know how much we suck. So the first voicemail I got pulled up here is from the one and only Rage Cat. Let's hear what Rage Cage has to say. Here we go.
Hello. This is the ever salacious, seductive, and whatever else you called me on the podcast episode for us. I was very thoroughly seduced by Robert, and I wanted to call in and share that listening to that episode in the office that I work at probably was not the best idea, considering all the things that were being said to Mr. Rage Cat himself, trying to, not really pretending to do work, but it was a slow day, so sitting around not trying to look busy while also trying not to crack up at the seduction that was clearly going on, this connection that was being made over a pre-recorded episode.
That is really hard.
I just wanted to leave a message telling you a little bit about that story, and that I really do appreciate the work you guys do. It's really fun listening to you guys at work, going through the extensive backlog of films that you guys have done, many of which are ones that I haven't seen be reviewed before, but have seen, such as Housekeeping. I've also gone through your Tetsuo the Iron Man. That was that's a title that not many people seem to drop all that often. And plus all the other stuff that you guys have done really does help me get through my work day. It absolutely makes it a lot more fun. Even more so hearing how I am salacious or whatever. But really, do keep up the good work. I do look forward to hearing House of Wax. Hopefully you guys get a kick out of Paris Hilton in that film or whatever. It's been
we
so
did.
long since I've seen that film and not the Vincent Price one. And that's what you're doing, and then I just look like an idiot on whatever episode you air this on. So do keep up the good work, though, and I do look forward to hearing whatever films may come and whatever other obscure films might come into the future, of which I might have a suggestion at some point whenever another $10 spot opens up, and we'll see then. So,
Oh, cut off.
Yeah. Rage. So I guess I'm thinking that the voicemail actually does have a limit. I think
I think it does, yeah.
either that or he just randomly cut it off when he was talking to us. I don't know. Thanks for the call, Rage. Thanks for the love, and succulent. I described you as very.
The word
succulent.
was succulent,
Yeah.
like a cacti or a woman's ass or something. I don't know. Rob was going for some seductive shit.
Yep. Seduction.
So,
Live
You're now
on air.
a part of something you did not intend to be a part of.
You
my friend.
creamed my jeans, Rage.
Rage. So yeah, thanks for hitting us up, man. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon. It's always good to hear from ya. I also like that he shouted out Tetsuo and Hasu.
Me too.
Which are kind of random movies you don't hear talked about a whole heck of a lot.
Both my picks, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that W. Thank you.
Yeah, all the way, Randy. Let's go ahead and hear what good sir Steve has to say. Here we go.
Steve.
Hey guys, this is Steve. I just listened to your Demon Night episode. I have also backed up my Netflix queue about 2 months worth with all the Tales from the Crypt DVDs. Yes, I still use physical DVDs. I'm living in 2005.
That's hot.
Just wanted to drop a quick note. Couldn't help but notice you guys glossed right over Billy Zane just dropping his zipper and shooting crotch flame all over Jada Pinkett.
That's really hot.
Definitely did a double take when that one when that came across the screen. So love the show. Keep it up. And if I may humbly request an Evil Dead episode or Army of Darkness, any one of those. Haven't seen them on the in the archives yet, but I could be mistaken. All right. Have a good one, guys. Love the show. Take care.
So, Steve, thank you for bringing that up. Actually,
Steve's really like pulling on some old episodes. Over a year old, that episode. The Demon Night.
Oh God, you're so committed to the joke. I had that written down in my notes when we were recording the show, and I forgot to mention it. But yeah, he shoots like lightning right out of his dick towards the end of the movie, out of nowhere.
Actually, some trivia from that. That was not written in the script. Billy Zane just did that on set, and they're like, "We're going to keep that in there."
It's a neat parlor trick.
I love Billy Zane.
He's got that electro wiener action.
John Justice Wheeler.
Gracious. Yeah, we haven't done any like OG Evil Dead. We covered.
No, we did too.
Oh yeah, dude, you're right. I forgot.
I wasn't there. I remember because I was pissed I couldn't be there.
You're right. Yeah, that was one of our old school episodes, and then we did the remake more recently. We talked about that too.
We should go back at some point, but the schedule being as tight as it is, take a Patreon.
That damn schedule is so
Or a
tight.
whole pick.
It's so damn tight.
So tight.
We need to cover them all at some point, but
I feel like this has been a super sexual episode.
yeah, it's getting a little.
Oh, this is a normal episode.
It's a little hot.
I just like the way my voice sounds.
A little hot.
We're going to go ASMR for the closing. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning into Street Chill today.
Keep chilling.
Let me do some tapping for you. Some light tapping.
Oh, thank you.
Is this library book late? I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is my tongue clicking? Oh, sorry.
Fucking did the tongue clicks.
All right. Hopefully some of you guys just got off. Great.
Yeah, that's going to be a new Patreon level. You hit us up
That's
at
a new segment.
at
What are
the
you talking about?
$50 mark. We're just going to tongue click you to to completion every month. So
Oh my gosh, there's gotta be a better way to put that.
There's a lot of money in that, I feel like. Don't sell yourself short.
Oh my god. Rob will also sell you his panties.
So what?
His panties. You're gonna sell your panties to everybody too. Patreon only.
You can't handle these panties.
You can.
Gracious.
Boy.
That's gonna do it for us this week at the Straight Chilling HQ. We're gonna be back next week. We're talking about the Pet Sematary remake coming out next Friday. So definitely get your cheeks in the seats, watch that shit, and tune into the show. See if it's dope or not. The trailer looks cool. I'm actually pretty excited about it. So I don't know.
We'll see if it's a hard road or not.
Let's see how fucking hard that road is. It's so damn hard. It's so hard. Until next week, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on the iTunes. We really do appreciate it. It's an easy way to support the show. It just takes a minute of your time, and it helps people find us that don't know we exist. You can hit us up on Twitter at str8_chilling. We are on Instagram at Straight Chilling Podcast. You send us an email through our website, straightchillingpodcast.com. If you want to hit us up on Slack, just contact us on any one of our social media websites and say, hey, I want to join you on Slack, and I'll send you a link so that you can do that. Don't forget, this coming Friday, we're hosting that Joe Bob live watch again at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to post a link to join that party on our Facebook page. Definitely jump on. Shit was fun, man. It was a good time.
It was fun. You guys jump on. We're chatting. I'm sometimes have my mic turned on, sometimes don't. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks for everybody that jumped on this past Friday, man. It was I had a fucking great time, honestly. It was a lot of fun.
I can't wait to see what whose hearts he's gonna break next week with a movie he shits on.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of Chud.
Apparently not.
Tammy, thank you so much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure having you on.
You're welcome. It's been so hot.
It's so hot. It's so hot. It's so hot. Brandy Gandy G Landy.
That's me.
I'll be seeing you soon, dog. Yeah, that's it. That's going to do it for us. Until next week, as always, all you mother truckers, please keep chilling.
That's hot.